Hi, welcome to Luxury in Moderation, where we appreciate the finer things in life without going overboard. Well, I'm back. I did take a couple months break from YouTube, but now I'm back and I just wanted to share my new philosophy for not only YouTube but also luxury in general. And I thought that required a little bit of explanation because the videos that you'll see on my channels will be slightly different this year, but I hope that they will be just as helpful and be a resource for you if you're interested in luxury. Late last year, I did want to take a step back from YouTube as well as luxury because I felt like I was getting sucked too much into things I weren't as comfortable with. So having the past few months as a break was a really great way for me to clear my head and just look at the big picture, kind of evaluate my relationship with luxury and what that means to me now. I still absolutely love all these brands and admire my purses, but there's a different way I want to go about consuming luxury as well as sharing luxury on YouTube. What do I mean by that? Basically, I really only want to create content that is a little bit different and I know will be very valuable to you guys here on YouTube. I don't want to do a lot of unboxings. I think there's already a lot of that content on YouTube, as well as I think that goes into this consumerism mindset about just buying the next new thing or opening a shiny new box, which is always exciting and exhilarating, but it might not be what I want to focus on right now in my life. So I'm going to have a lot fewer videos, but very thought out. I think the topics that I choose will hopefully be helpful as you guys are exploring and understanding some luxury products and brands. And if there's anything specific that you would love to see from me or have questions, please leave them down in the comments. Basically, I reached this conclusion that I wanted to change the way I was talking about luxury was because I had been thinking about this for a while of how I'm becoming really obsessed with brands and how my spending has increased with that as well. So I thought it would be very interesting if we walked through my general spending and lifestyle creep as I, worked more, started to get raises, promotions, and just how I've reached that level of spending in the recent years. It might be interesting for you guys just starting out and getting into luxury or just products in general, how the spending changes in each phase of your life. I've had a very clear way of upping my spending every so often and the brands that I choose to spend on and the interests and products that I choose to spend. So now that I've kind of had this 10-year perspective of where my money is going and how I've chosen to spend it, I think it's great for me to take stock of, what is still valuable and what have I learned from my past 10 years, and hopefully that will help you guys in whatever phase you are in your career and your spending. You can just do a quick look back and understand if this is how you want to continue to go. So my spending habits started way before I spent on any luxury handbags and goods. My first big interest and passion was beauty. So I think that's really a gateway into all of these branding and beautiful objects. For a typical girl, I'm not going to say I'm anything special. I think there's a lot of YouTubers on here or anywhere that, they dabble in beauty, they dabble in luxury. When I was just graduating high school, getting into college, I started with the drugstore brands like Maybelline and then, slowly progressed into buying MAC, Too Faced, Urban Decay, Benefit. I feel like those are kind of that mid-range premium fun brands. And then you get into the hourglasses. I think they make really quality products. And then you get into the really luxury brands, which are the Dior, Chanel, Chantecaille Beauty. So I definitely have the full range of that. And again, that was my first real area where I spent a ton of money. And even though I bought a lot of these products 10 years ago, I still have a lot of them. I still have way too much makeup, color, cosmetics, and then you kind of get into the skincare as you get a little bit older as well. So I also have a lot of skincare products. So once I reached a point where I was like, I have way too much stuff, I'm never gonna use it all. Why do I keep on buying more and more of this? I kind of told myself that, you know, this cannot continue. I really should probably stop buying makeup and skincare. And I gave myself a no buy year where I wouldn't buy cosmetics at all. Well, that just kind of shifted my focus to buying clothes that year. So let's talk about clothes. Obviously, most people spend on clothes. It's something that we have to wear every day anyways. But my progression was very, very clear where when I was in college, I was buying Forever 21, and then getting into the senior year and like graduating, kind of going into the workforce for the first time, I started buying H&M. They actually have some, you know, professional looking button-ups. And then, you know, as I did my first year of work, kind of wanted to look more professional, I started buying Express, Banana Republic. So you can see that as I gained more experience, I wanted to look more professional. I probably got some salary or bonuses where I was also able to afford more expensive brands, but it's very clear when I look in my closet, I can identify, you know, the H&M shirts that I bought my first year of working. Then I bought these Banana Republic button-ups in my second year of working. And then as we progress further, I started buying White House Black Market. 1 year, in about 5 years ago, I went crazy for Aritzia. So that was kind of getting into the really expensive clothes. And then all this while, you know, I'm thinking that luxury ready-to-wear is way out of my price range. But lo and behold, that year where I stopped buying beauty products and I had the extra money to spend, and I'd also gotten increases in salary, I did start buying products from Saks Fifth Avenue. So that's just crazy to me to think that, you know, when I was in college, there was no world where I could imagine spending $100, $200 on a cardigan, and then that became normalized once I got to that age, that salary level, and then of course, I transitioned into luxury handbags. And of course, I did have an interest in luxury handbags from way before, from when my mother and my grandmother, you know, carried them and I saw them, and it was really privileged to be part of that world and get introduced to brands like that. But once I started earning enough money to purchase my own handbags, that's when I think it's really important to understand, of course, the value of money, where I'm spending my own money. All those hours of hard work that I put into my job, I started buying Louis Vuitton bags, Dior bags, Chanel bags, and ultimately I reached the level where I'm now buying Hermes $10,000 bags, which is really crazy to think about. So when I think about my progression of spending, the categories that I spent in, the different brands that I spent in, whether it's beauty, ready to wear, or handbags and accessories, you know, I can see where, you know, even though I'm making more money as the years progress, I don't know if I'm really saving as much as I could, because then I began to spend on more expensive things, and now all my money is sitting on these shelves. And is this the path that I still want to walk down? Well, as you know, when I took a break from YouTube, I also took a step back from luxury in general. I actually didn't buy any handbags last year. The only bag that I did buy was the Hermes grooming bag, and it's not leather. I don't think anyone would consider that a handbag. It's more of a travel bag. And I was trying to really evaluate if I need to buy any more handbags, even though I love them. I've also reached a point where I have enough, and I don't want to keep buying more just for the sake of it, because then the ones that I have won't get enough use. You know, I want to wear the ones that I have and I love. I'm really looking to buy purses for a very specific reason. That's why this handbag is there, and I will do a whole nother video on that puzzle bag right there. But there's just other priorities in my life now as well where I want to spend more in now a new category. So this year, my priority is to spend on travel and also home furniture, because last year I did buy a new home and now I need to put couches in and tables in and all of those things, which also cost a pretty penny. So I need to budget for those furniture items versus more beautiful handbags. I have the handbags that function for my needs. You know, I have my everyday bag, which is that Louis Vuitton Pochette Métis. And then I have some fancier bags. I have small evening bags. You know, I really have the key categories that I feel that I need in my life. So even though there might be another bag that is so gorgeous, I really need to take the time to think if it's really worth purchasing and putting those thousands of dollars into another handbag versus what I want to prioritize this year. So the other category that I wanted to spend more on this year was travel, and I've had the privilege of traveling to Europe a lot in the last couple of years. And there's still a lot of the world that I haven't seen that I really want to. I really want to focus on that right now, and all these plane trips, hotels, those are the things that I want to spend money on. Travel is definitely the biggest thing I want to spend most of my money on this year. So I'm happy to take a step back from luxury products just so that I can explore the world more. And to be honest, I'm probably not going to do vlogs while I'm there. I'm not a vlog person, and I really want to experience, you know, that city versus just experiencing it through my digital phone. But I will certainly come back and make a video on anything I find interesting. So for example, I went to Taiwan in December to visit family, but I also visited 2 Hermes boutiques, which I thought was a very interesting experience. So I do plan on doing a video on that just in case anyone is curious, will be visiting or live there. Also, a quick update in my relationship with Hermes and the game, the journey. Because I did have a couple of videos last year where I talked about it and really thought that I was getting too obsessed with playing the game, with buying to get a bag offer. Now that I've had the time and space to really accept and appreciate the bags that I have, and sometimes you just need to give yourself time to sit with the bags that you have and not continue to think about the next one, like what's the next box you want to unbox and things like that. I really realized that I have been so blessed to already own a Birkin 30, which I want to use more of this year. And I was also very grateful to receive a Kelly in December as well. So my next video is definitely going to be dedicated to that Kelly. And of course, I'm so privileged and so lucky to already own 1 Birkin and 1 Kelly in my collection that I don't feel the need to play the game anymore. Even though I have a wonderful Hermes essay, and I still think a lot of their items are so beautiful. You know, I'm so attracted to their shoes, their homewares, but at the same time, I don't want to be spending my money in Hermes that much this year, again, because I want to spend more on travel. And so I don't feel the need or the compulsion to like spend in order to get a bag offer. Not even a Quota bag offer, because these days, you know, Hermes, any bags, even the Picotin, Evelyn, you know, they kind of want you to show loyalty and buy other items before any bag is offered to you. You know, you it's very rare cases now where you could just walk in and purchase a bag. I will share more about what I learned about that when I went to the New York flagship on Madison Avenue, because I did happen to visit that store as well in Thanksgiving. So as you can see, you know, it's still an interest for me. I'm still very curious to look around these Hermes stores, but at the same time, I'm choosing not to purchase as much there, not to spend as much of my hard-earned money there this year. Of course, it would be nice to have, let's say, a mini Lindy. I did tell my essay that was on my wish list, but I'm not in a rush to get it. I'm not trying to spend so much within this period of time so that I could possibly get offered this year. And it's a huge relief for me to realize that I don't feel the need to play the game anymore. And I struggled with this for many, many months. As you guys may know, in my last video, I was still, you know, bouncing back and forth. Like I say, oh, I'm off Hermes now. And then the next month I'm thinking like, oh, but I still need to keep up my relationship with my essay. I need to spend this certain amount. I need to see her a certain number of times a month or whatever. And all of those rules that go along with playing the game, I know that when you're in the game and you're really wanting that offer or a bag or whatever it is, it can be so logical. You spend the money, you get a bag, and the cycle continues. But I'm in a lucky position where I don't feel like I need a bag offer and I could do without it. At the same time, I'm not going to say that I'm done shopping at Hermes because I do appreciate their quality. I do appreciate the branding. I am a brand whore, I will admit that. Along with that, also on my wish list is a Birkin 25. And I did tell my essay that I think they're really adorable. I would love to have one in my collection. At the same time, I'm still not sure if I want to do all the pre-spend for a one-to-one, basically spending $10,000 in order to buy another $10,000 bag. And it's probably going to be more than that. It might be 1.5 or 2-to-1 ratio where I'd have to spend $20,000 to buy this $10,000 Birkin 25. And I don't think I'm ready to do that or want to do that. Again, because I have other things I want to spend on this year moving forward. Maybe the phase of my life where I'm pouring all of my money into luxury handbags is over and I'm ready to move on to that next phase. Just like, you know, how I moved on from beauty to clothes to luxury handbags. Now my focus is on travel. It remains to be seen whether this phase is done. I mean, it will always be an interest, but again, it's not as intensely invested in my current phase of my life. An interesting thought popped into my head that rather than spend, you know, that 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 ratio for another Quota bag at Hermes, or for example, buying it on the pre-love market and buying a Birkin 25 for, I don't know, $25,000, $30,000. I would rather experience more types of leather handbags than one really expensive handbag, because I am a person who appreciates handbags for the leather quality, feel, touch. Like, that is very important to me. And I'm thinking that I would rather have, you know, 2 or 3 cheaper bags, like maybe an Evelyn and a garden party, or a mini Ruly and a Picotin, even though, I think Picotins are like crazy expensive now too. But I would just love to experience more types of leather. And then, you know, the funds that could have gone to just one big Birkin purchase could then be spread out over a couple different bags. Finally, I also wanted to share that I've reached a point in my life where I do want to become a little more low-key. So I'm not into all the big brand logos. I really want to kind of fly under the radar For example, I think the Pochette Matisse in the Empreinte leather is a little bit more camouflage than if I had it in the monogram canvas. And there's a ton of Chanel bags that I think are still so gorgeous, such as like a chevron mini or the DeVille tote, but at the same time, it's so glaringly Chanel. You know, the DeVille tote has Chanel written right across it. You can't miss the Chanel CC on any of their classic flaps. So that is actually one reason why I've decided not to pursue that or, you know, really go for those types of bags this year. I don't know if it's because of my age, like maybe I just don't want to be flashy and showing off, but that's where I am right now. And that's really just what I wanted to share in this first video back in 2023. I still have quite a few videos planned to share some hopefully informative and interesting topics with you guys, but I don't plan on doing as frequent videos because for me, YouTube is very much tied to luxury. It's what I watch when I go on YouTube most of the time. When I'm creating videos, it's all about luxury, and I just want to keep it at arm's length for now because I don't want to get sucked into that luxury mindset again. So I really appreciate you guys that have still loved watching and discovered my videos and have subscribed. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch and comment. I will always answer questions. So even though I may not be posting every week, I'm still seeing those questions and answering them as soon as I can. And I'm excited to continue this new direction on my YouTube channel and would love to hear your feedback on what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!